Hello students, I am Raghavan Kumar Singh, faculty of US Academy and Institute. Today we will discuss class 8 social science civics second chapter, understanding secularism. As we know, the member of one religious community either persecute or discriminate against the members of other religious communities. These acts of discrimination takes place more easily when one religion is given official recognition by the state at the expense of other religion. All forms of domination related to religion should end. In India, which is a country which does not officially promote any religion as its country religion, is a secular country. India is also one of them. India adopted a policy to separate the powers of religion and the powers of the states. The separation of religion from the states is known as secularism. Now, what is secularism? India adopted a strategy of separating the powers of religion and the power of the state. Secularism refers to this separation of religion from the states. The Indian Constitution allows individuals the freedom to live by their religious beliefs and practices it. Why is it important to separate religious from the state? The separation of state and religion in democratic societies is important because it helps a country to function democratically. The tyranny of the majority and the violation of fundamental rights can be very harmful to the peoples belonging to the minority. So, it protects people from any type of religious violence. It protects the freedom of individual to exist from their religion, embrace another religion. It gave people the freedom to interpret religious teaching differently. The state can intervene in religion in order to end an evil social practice which it believes discriminate and violated fundamental rights. The Indian secularism is different from other democratic countries as the Indian states can intervene in religious affairs. There are two chief reasons why the separation between religious state is important. The first is to prevent the dominating of one religion over another. The second is to protect the freedom of individual to come out of their religion, embrace another religion, or have the freedom to interpret religious teachings differently. We can give an example of the practice of untouchability, which allow upper class peoples to dominate lower class peoples. Secularism opposing to institutionalized religion means that it promotes freedom and equality between and within the religions. What is Indian secularism? The India Constitution mandates that the Indian states be secular. Only a secular state can realize its objectives to ensure one religion community does not dominate another. Some members do not dominate other members of the same religion community. The state does not enforce any particular religion, nor does it take away the religious freedom of individual. Now the steps which are taken by Indian states to protect secularism is: the Indian states work in various ways. It uses a strategy of distancing itself from religion. In India, government spaces like law court, police station, governments, schools and offices are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. A strategy of non-interference. This means that in order to respect the sentiments of all religions and not interfere with the religious practices, the state makes certain exceptions for particular religious community. A strategy of intervention. This means that the ensure the law related to equal inheritance right are respects. The state can intervene in the religion-based personal law of community. The intervention of the state can also be in the form of support. For example, the Indian Constitution grants the right to religious community to set up their own schools and colleges. It also gives them financial aid on a non-preferable basis. In what ways is Indian secularism different from that of other democratic countries? There is one significant way in which Indian secularism differs from the dominating understanding of secularism as practiced in the United States of America. In American secularism, there is a strict separation between religion and the states, whereas in Indian secularism, the states can intervene in religious affairs. The Indian states is not ruled by a religious group. It also does not support any one religion. In India, government spaces such a law, court, and many other things to demonstrate or promote any one religion. Indian secularism follows a strategy of non-interference, but at some time it also intervenes in a religion. Again, we can give an example of the practice of untouchability. This Indian Constitution bans these practices. In this instance, the state is intervening in religion in order to end a social practice that it believes discriminate and excluded that violated the fundamental rights of lower caste peoples. Indian secularism is also different from others. In Indian secularism, though the state is not strictly separated from religion, it does not maintain a principal distance vis-a-vis religion. This means that any interference in religion by the state has to be based on the ideal laid out in the Indian Constitution. Indian secularism is also different from the others because there is a strict separation between religion and the other states of different countries. But in Indian secularism, as mentioned above, the state can intervene in religion affairs. Now, what about the secularism? Secularism, it refers to the separation of religion from the state. Freedom to interpret means it refers to the freedom that all persons shall have to understand things in their own way. In this chapter, it refers to individual liberty to develop their own understanding and meaning of the religious practices.